Hello, you guys. It has been a little bit, and sorry about that. My glasses were falling down. Um, it has been quite a little bit, and a lot has happened. A lot has happened since I last posted a video. I got really busy, and I kind of forgot a few times to post, but now I am uh, in the process of thinking about a routine, especially since tomorrow um, I start summer classes. Um, my plan is to upload this video right after I make it, so as soon as this ends, I'm going to edit and upload it, and you guys will see it. So, you guys are seeing this literally like right after it was filmed. Um, we have a lot to talk about. We really do. First off, my hair is significantly shorter than it was when you guys last saw me on camera. Um, I got tired of the long hair. I've always really wanted super short hair. Like, it just got really annoying. And this short hair is really nice. It feels really good. It's healthy. Um, and I'm 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 doing well with it. Okay, so that's my hair is not really what we're supposed to be talking about, although it's probably a distraction. Um, but we have a couple big things to talk about. Um, man, I am shocked and blown away at at just the attitude of people in our country right now. Um, I don't know if it should be a shock to me, but it is. Like it's so sad to me. Um, if you guys have no idea what's going on, um, and you watch this and you have like no clue, um, about a week and a half ago, um, there was a black man in Minneapolis named George Floyd, and he supposedly wrote a bad check. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. There's a chance that I'm gonna write a bad check in my life because I don't understand checks, okay? Um, and what happened to George, um, was completely inexcusable, and I'm glad that justice is being served for him, especially for the cop that killed him. So, should George Floyd have been at least a little bit reprimanded for the bad check? Yes, but the cop took it too far and like threw him to the ground and like knelt on his neck. And I've seen the video. It like but I didn't have to see the video to believe it. I just I wanted to make sure um I'm saying things accurately, um and not hurting anybody in the black community um at all. And um so basically this white cop, apparently he's been an issue for a long time. And he finally got arrested. He knelt on George Floyd's neck, and George Floyd started begging and pleading for his life. Like he's like, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Like, um, like I, like officer, I can't breathe. Like, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this guy? Like, why is he kneeling? Like, I don't understand. Like, what motivated this guy to kneel on George Floyd's neck? Like, I don't understand that. So this was an act of racism. Now, bad checks are not good. Obviously, they should you should be reprimanded for them. You should be, like a slap on the wrist, but never, ever, ever should you be, um, thrown to the ground, um, and knelt on to the point where you die. Um, and never should your friends, there were other cops standing around that just let it happen. And, um, like, I just don't understand, like, why that was okay. Like, it's not okay at all. Um, so a lot of you, probably all of you who subscribed, to me so far, um, have who follow me on Instagram and are friends with me on Facebook, and you've seen me pushing against racism, um, like just for the past few days, and I have tried to come up with creative ways to do this. I've tried to, obviously recognize the black people that I know, and I started this thing today where, um, I am recognizing all the black accounts that I follow on Instagram. So if you guys want to check that out, friend me on Facebook if you haven't. Um, and yeah, so some of the accounts that I will recognize, are accounts that are well known. Um, but some of them aren't. And today, um, I recognized an account that was kind of in the middle. Um, uh, if you want to go see that post, yeah, go check out my Facebook page. Um, and my thing about that though is that after you read that post, please go and like DM the person, or um or like message the person on Instagram, like in their comments section. Um, like just tell them that they're loved and that they're worth living and that they matter, because like they do. They, I told a black person yesterday, and this could be a self-confidence thing. It really could be. Um, which is something I need to improve on. I don't know, sorry about the glare of my computer and my glasses. Um, that, that's better. Um, sort of. I guess we'll just have to kind of deal with it. Anyway. So I told a black person yesterday, I said, like, I think a lot of the things I can do, a black person can do better. Like, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, a black person can hit a baseball harder than I could hit a softball. Um, I had to be told to envision my brother's head. That often didn't work. Um, and, obviously, softball and baseball are, sports of repetition and practice, um, and they take. Sorry, I might be interrupted here in a second. Okay, sorry about that. Um, if you see people in the next couple minutes walking behind me, it's because I live in a house with 8 people, and I share a room with my sister. This stuff that you see behind me is not mine. Okay, back to the point. Um, so like softball and baseball obviously are sports of repetition and practice, and you only get better by practicing. Uh, but some people just have the it factor, you know what I mean? Like they have it, and a lot of those people are black people, and like, and I'm totally okay with that. Like, I have a friend in choir. I'm in my church's choir. For those of you who are watching me for the first time, I'm in my church's choir, and we have a black person in our choir. Her name's Angela. She's awesome. Um, she goes to University of North Texas. Kind of just gave away where I live. Not totally, but sort of. Um, I do live in Texas. Um, but Um, she goes to the University of North Texas, pretty close to where I live. Um, and she's like super awesome. Like, we pay her obviously because she's such a good singer. The church pays different musicians, you know, because obviously they need a job. Some people are just members. Some people are not paid because they're just members, and you know. But Angela is paid, and she's absolutely incredible. Um, and she can definitely sing better than I can. I remember there was um, like a while back, like a few months ago. My mom went on a business trip or something. My mom and I sing in the choir together, and we're one of the mom-daughter duos, Um, and uh, my mom left, and there was another alto. I sing the alto part. Um, there was another alto that was not there. She was sick. I think another alto was out of town. Um, and so before my other two alto friends, my last two alto friends showed up, it was just me. And yeah, my mom was out of town, all this stuff. So I freaked out. I have I'm in the process of overcoming stage fright. And like I I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared out of my mind. And there's just something about black people and them being comforting, I've always been a fan of The Voice, and how Alicia and Usher and Pharrell especially, well, even J-Hud too, and John, those two people, like all those people, um, how they've been like so nurturing and loving and really awesome to their artists. You should go watch The Voice, by the way. It's super awesome. Download the app, everything. Um, anyway, the point is like, um, the point is like, black people, especially people like that, they tend to be really super nurturing. So, and Angela is like that 100%. And so here I am freaking out. My part comes up in the anthem. I go to an Anglican church. We sing an offertory anthem like during when the offering is being collected. So, um, so my part comes up, and I'm like trying to sing through it. I'm like, just don't think about it, just don't think about it. And I'm completely just freaking out. And lo and behold, behind me, because we sit by parts. Altos are in the front because guess what? I'm the shortest person in the choir, and I have to sit in the front so the director can see over my head. So anyway, um, that's just kind of how it works. Um, So I'm in the front, and Angela is right behind me. And lo and behold, she's a soprano. She starts singing the alto part, like for me, not for me, but with me. And I'm like, I try so hard to read music, but I am very guilty of singing what I hear. Um, in fact, I do that 95% of the time. Um, and so basically, when Angela started singing, I was like, thank goodness. Like, I am saved. Because, like, I thought I was gonna have a breakdown. It was it was so bad. But obviously, well, my two friends who were the altos, who were white, actually came in and helped. That way Angela could go back to being a soprano in her part because she's a fantastic soprano. You guys need to go listen to her sing. She's incredible. Like, I mean, she almost brought me to tears when she sang my favorite Christmas song in church. Anyway, so I don't even know where I went with this, where I started. Like, I mean, like, sometimes I just talk and it all comes out. And, well, I just, like, I know and love black people. Like, some of my favorite people in the whole world are black people. Um, I remember, um, and there are details that I have to leave out of the story, otherwise, it will create a lot of drama. But I remember Um, Last year in softball, we played a team in a city called Lubbock. If you guys are Texas Tech fans, you know about Lubbock. Or if you go to Texas Tech, you know about Lubbock. Um, and so this was actually when Texas Tech was making their run in in the March Madness tournament, making their big run. Huge, if they would have won the tournament, it would have been nice because three Texas teams would have won that year. Because Texas, my favorite team, actually won the NIT, and Baylor won the women's tournament. And anyway, doesn't matter. I'm just sad that Tech didn't win um, the NCAA tournament. Anyway, the point is, my coach, um, Coach Tate, is a black guy, and we stayed in a hotel, and and he gave us simple instructions, and some people didn't follow the instructions. That's all I'm gonna say. So, obviously, when we get to practice, so we played on a Saturday. We stayed in a hotel on a Friday night, played on a Saturday, doubleheader, and Lubbock is a really long drive out. That's why we stayed in a hotel, and it was, yeah. Anyway, but anyway, so after the doubleheader, we did not do well, and I put a lot of blame on myself because I knew in the back of my mind that I was making some very major mistakes, and and a lot of there was, I think, one point in the game where it was on me to make a play, and I didn't. So I still regret that. Anyway, um point is that Coach Tate, he drove the bus out there, and he's a black guy and he's super cool. You know, um, he did have me do the strangest thing ever on a softball field, which there's some details there that don't need to be said across the internet. Um, but it was interesting, very interesting. If you guys want to ask me about that, I'm willing to tell you privately, but everywhere across the internet is not the place for those details. Anyway, so we're riding back from Lubbock, right? And I'm listening to music, and my nickname is Carol. Two people, my freshman year of high school, on the softball team just randomly decided to call me that, and it kind of stuck. That's all I'm gonna say. So my nickname's Carol, and um, so I'm listening to music, right? And Coach Tate, he's driving the bus. I'm sitting kind of where he can see me, like in the rear mirror. What rear view mirror? Well, I don't know what that was. Um, so I'm sitting where he can kind of see me, right? And so he's trying to get my attention. I'm like, what's going on? So I took my earbuds out. I think it was just earbuds at the time. I think it was. I can't remember. Anyway, um, so I took my earbuds out, and he's like, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm listening to like my own like playlist on my phone, like I didn't want to like shout out exactly what I was listening to. And he goes like, well, what are you listening to? Like, what exactly is it? Like, um, and I'm like, uh, it's like I said, I love The Voice. Danielle Bradbury years ago won The Voice, and I might have downloaded a bunch of her music in order to help with that. um, with that situation. So I was listening to one of her songs from The Voice. It was a cover of Sarah Evans' Born to Fly, I think it was. And so I told him. And he was like, "You like country music?" I was like, "Yeah, I love country music. Everybody knows I love country music." Yeah, everybody, if you know me, you know I love country music. And so, yeah, we were just talking about music and stuff. Found out he likes The Fray and he likes Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's good stuff. Don't like the Fray as much as I like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire is amazing. Obviously, their most popular song, September. Oh my gosh, it's a jam. Go listen to it. Anyway, so we talked about that for a little bit, and then we went, and then we went into Canes, and we he got some food and I got some food. It was this whole dinner stop thing, and then he drove the rest of the way home. So anyway, things kind of seemed to be calm with him even after he's generally a pretty competitive guy, but he seemed to be pretty calm driving back. And obviously, stopping for dinner and all that stuff. Well, anyway, we get back to practice the next day. Um, and he or not the next day, the next couple days. And um like I said, there were some instructions that weren't followed that he gave, and there was a penalty that was paid for that. I'm not going to give the entire detail of that, but while that penalty was being paid, I didn't have to pay that penalty. Um, I'm just saying that I wasn't part of that group that didn't follow the instructions. But while that penalty was being paid, there was a conversation again about brackets and how Michigan State and Duke were like the big teams in the NCAA tournament, and yeah, and yeah. So Duke. The thing about Duke is that at the time they relied on one player, and you cannot do that in basketball. You can't do that. Even if the guy is black, which he was, Zion, he's a great player, but the thing is he gets hurt often, so um, you can't just rely on him, because if you do that, your whole routine is gonna mess up. Not because he's black, but because when somebody gets hurt, you have to adjust, and if you're not able to adjust, then it's gonna kind of blow up in your face. So anyway, it blew up in Duke's faces. Everybody thought Duke was gonna win the tournament. Did not happen for them. Um, and Michigan State beat them. And both of us knew that Michigan State was going to win that game. It's because Duke almost lost a couple of games beforehand, and it was like, I think this could be the end of the line for them. So we talked about that, and then I talked about how I had originally picked Michigan, not Michigan State, Michigan, to win the NCAA tournament, which is a thing I started doing a few years ago, and yeah, that didn't work because Tech beat them. Um, yeah, and Tate, when I said that, he was like, well, that's not a bad pick, and I was like, oh, well, thanks, you know, and like, I appreciate that. Like, I mean, it wasn't a bad pick. I don't think it was just that they got blown out earlier than I'd expected. um, and that's just how it worked out, and it was sad, but it was all good. Um, and so Tech ended up going, by the way, Tech ended up going all the way to the end and then losing in the championship game. Anyway, well, the point is like, I can have legit conversations with black people and not have to worry about them hurting me. Like, I don't understand where we get this whole black people are evil type thing. Like, what exactly, where did you get that from? Like, years ago, um, sorry, voice crack, years ago, uh, we, we were participating in the slave trade. And I think this is where all this junk started. Um, and like, really? Like, black people are extremely helpful. Obviously, with Angela, that was helpful. With Coach Tate, he made me feel like I was in the right place. Um, and, very grateful for them. Um, but yes, they are helpful, but do we seriously have to beat them and kneel on their necks and chain them to, the floor of boats? And like, I don't understand, like, where do you get that idea from? Like, what is wrong? Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, what motivated you? Like, what did they do to you? Did they bother you? Did they, like, for me, if I have an issue with somebody, like, you know, either I say nothing about it, which is not a good thing, um, or like, or I tell them, I say, hey, this is what happened, like, what, if there, yeah, if there's an issue, I tell them, like, I use my words. I don't beat them. I don't, you know, chain them to the floors of boats. I don't, make it, I don't do any, I use my words, like, and I think that's important. I think we need to use our words. Obviously not hatefully, but in love. So all this protesting stuff, I don't mind that. I don't mind the protesting. What I do mind is people going and burning down buildings and looting stores and things like that. Like, my thing is, like, if you're going to protest, that's okay, but make sure that you're spreading love with your mouth and not hate with your hands. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we need to be, where we need to be. Um, and obviously, um, I have kind of come out of the woodworks, if you know, per se. You know, if you want to say that, just with this whole thing. Um, but I don't understand racism. I don't get it. Like, what is the deal? Like, what on earth is going on? Like, I don't get it. Like, what on earth? I just, you know. So, I started a hashtag, and I started posting this hashtag very often, and I might post it in the description of this video. Um, I started saying that racism is stupid because it is. Like, I just don't, like, what? you know? Um, and I'm going to continue to push against racism. I don't, racism. I, I, I don't, like, why does it even exist? Like, why do we have to, why do we have to be like that? You know what I'm saying? There's so much more to people than the color of their skin. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a white person, right? But, like, there's so much more to me than, I'm a Christian. I obviously I wear blue glasses. I have, I'm a still kind of a freshman in college. Well, summer classes are a little bit hard to say. But I have friends, I have family, there's so much more to people than just what meets the eye. And I think people need to understand that. Like, you can't just be mean to people because they're white, black, whatever. Like, I just don't get it. Um, and, there's been tons and tons of forms of racism, like Planned Parenthood, and this is really bold. Like, I am very much against abortion. Um, very much against, I think abortion is murder. And guess what? It was Planned Parenthood initially targeted black women. And um and that's racist. And obviously I'm going to push against racism. And I don't like abortion. I really don't. Abortion is murder. What the man did to George Floyd is murder. And what everybody else did, standing there watching, is murder, in my mind. If you allow somebody to murder somebody, then, you know, you're kind of part of the act. You know what I'm saying? If you allow that to happen, like, if he's standing there pleading for his life and you do nothing, if you don't say anything, or if you, like, don't move the guy, if you don't do anything, then you're part of the issue. Um, um, but, and, obviously there's other situations that, I mean, again, if you want to privately message me, um, yeah, do that. as well. Um, my gosh, I've been talking for 30 minutes. I have a little ticker on the bottom of of my um computer screen. I'm recording this on my computer because my camera is acting weird. Um, so, and there's another thing I gotta talk about. So, my conclusion about racism is love people of all races, especially blacks right now, because they are really hurting and like, you know, I feel like right now, this is hard on them. My black professor in college, it was my speech professor, and I'm sorry if she's watching this because this is not perfected at all. This is just me talking. And and you're probably thinking, Professor Jones, like, why didn't she talk this much in my class? I kind of wish I did, but yeah, it was 8 in the morning and I was tired, and I was, you know, in a less comfortable environment, I guess. But we got comfortable as life went on. But anyway, um, she's Professor Jones is pregnant with twin boys, and I'm so excited for her. Like, um, and you know what? If Here's the thing, if I push against racism now, their life the twin boys, when their life starts, well, their life has already started, but when they come into the world, um, their life might be easier. That's the thing is, I can't sit and let people run my black friends into the ground. That's and make life harder for my friends. I can't let that happen. That's why I'm pushing so much against, against this racism thing. And, I texted the number for justice for George Floyd. I contacted my state governor. I, have obviously posted like endless amounts of stuff on social media um, about this. And the point is like, we can't be mean to other people just because of the color of their skin. And that is a good segue into my next topic. Um, and I just went off. I probably need to watch this video before I post it. Um, but anyway, um, so that's a good segue into my next topic, which is Rachel and Harold Earls. Um, Harold is you've heard me talk about them before, when I brought up that their son Leo is or was a presumed case of COVID-19. Um, and he's doing well. His he's obviously running around like a crazy 2-year-old. Um, you know, that's that's typical, but here's what I want to talk about them. I mentioned this before, but I want to talk about them really quick. This is their book. This is the Advanced Readers Edition. But this is their book, A Higher Calling, and I'm on the launch team for their book. And so I wanted to bring this up really quick. They asked me to share a post, well, me and the rest of the launch team. So they asked me to share a post about this, and I kind of already have on my Instagram story, so if you want to go check that out, go ahead. Alright, ignore whatever is happening over here. My sister walked in the room. I think she's about to get a shower, so yep, there she is. So Rachel and Harold, if you don't know who they are, they have a YouTube channel called Earls Family Vlogs. And Rachel is the main person on the channel, but Harold, it was actually Harold's suggestion to Rachel. That's in the book, actually. It was his suggestion to Rachel to start a YouTube channel. And so they did, and look at where they are now. But their biggest thing that they say at the end of all of their videos is love God, love people, make a difference, and be thankful. And that cannot be more relevant right now. Um, like I said, we can't be mean to people just because of the color of their skin. We need to love them. We need to love God, and we need to make a difference in other people's lives. And we also need to be thankful. Sorry about that. um, for what we have. And as you can see, I have a nice bedroom. I have a nice house. I have, there's a bathroom behind me. Um, there's lots of posters and pictures and bulletin boards over here. There's an In-N-Out cup right there. We have enough money to go and eat. Um, I'm thankful for where I'm at, but I'm also saddened that people in this world are not loved because of the color of their skin. So, Rachel and Harold have also been pushing against racism like I have. And so, please, 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 please do me a favor. Go order a higher calling. Yeah, you can see them right there. They're adorable, aren't they? But go order a higher calling, and go check out, I think it was like my week 4 video that I talked about Leo and Harold and Rachel and their how what they do for a living. Harold is a tomb guard, if you're curious. Yeah, they have been pushing against racism as well. So Aaron's coming in. So I had a visitor from afar. This is my little brother Aaron. Anyway, so I think he might still be in here. There he is. Okay. So, but yeah, they've been pushing against racism just like I have, and so please give them a huge shout out and a huge thank you by ordering their book, A Higher Calling. It launches tomorrow. It'll hit shelves everywhere, and it tells their love story, and it tells what they experienced in their first year of marriage, and with Harold climbing Mount Everest. So just yeah, just go order that book. Push against racism, love God, love people, make a difference, and be thankful. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching.